Our super lovely Monday morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is your All Options radio station, TNT 102.5 FM. I'll bring you your live transmissions from Ijagu, Kwara State, Nigeria. I want to thank you very much for being a part of this dialing down, for being a friend, for being a companion, for always listening to this radio station. We love you and we appreciate you. Welcome me on board and urging you to be a friend continually and keep listening to us. As we welcome you onto the program, the mainstream this morning, it's time, like we always do, to bring you up to speed to ensure that you are not left in the dark, bringing you stories making headlines on national dailies. You know that the stories come closer to you from exactly 7 till 8. And then, when the time is right, you also have the privilege to join responding to a story of your choice. And when you're responding, you know the rules of engagement. But when the time is right, we'll reel out those rules. But as we start on the program, we urge you to be on the dial, stay tuned, and let's have a smooth ride. Nelson Olauye is my name. I'll be anchoring alongside my colleague.
Oluwaseun Fadira, and once again I say a very good morning to you wherever you may be listening to this dial. Radio TNT 102.5 FM. I urge you to sit back, as we'll be right back after this time out. Don't go anywhere. Good morning. Fine, Share our fried chicken. Yes, many thanks for not breaking away, and now we are set to serve you headlines making the round. Reading from the Punch newspaper, ASU, FG disagree over planned meeting.
Emefiele heads for court as anger spreads over presidential ambition.
Aggrieved civil servants fought nomination forms purchase for Zulu.
Embrace religious tolerance, Tinubu urges Nigerians.
Kano, stop using court as excuse. Or Aneze, others tell Buhari.
Bandit mustn't have upper hand in Northwest again, says Buhari.
Still serving you headlines, Lagos building fails structural test. Government orders demolition.
Will soon review Imo killing sponsor, says Uzladima.
Still serving you headlines, Health Commissioner laments brain drain in Nigeria.
Ocean safe zone for me, says Atiku.
Heavy sponsored fake news against us, says IPOB.
Still on the mainstream this morning, honest leadership needed to move Nigeria forward, says Oshimbajo.
Lagos pastor advocates Christians' involvement in politics.
And another one on the program this morning, Ganduje backs deputy governor's bids, picks senatorial farm.
INEC chairman remains committed to credible election, and this is according to his spokesman.
Wajabiamila will get chieftaincy title despite Alafin's death, says Oyomisi.
Climate change responsible for flooding, and this is according to Lagos government.
Talk less, do more, Catholic bishops tell politicians.
Still serving you headlines, Lagos seeks abandoned vehicles panel, alleges extortion.
And another one on the program this morning. This is still the mainstream on your luscious dial, the voice of the truth, TNTFM. You betrayed Rivers people, stabbed us, weak Islam's Emeka Yedioa.
Airline operators cancel nationwide shutdown.
Rising oil price to lead to higher inflation, says IMF.
Nigerian airlines insist on flight shutdown from Monday.
And another one, former lawmaker Senator Arthur Nzeribe is dead.
Zamfara massacre. Bandits must not operate freely. And this is coming from President Buhari.
It is 7 minutes past 7, still on the AM side. We love to have you stay tuned as we take another break to return, bringing you headlines to the stories we are tracking. Don't go. It is time now to bring you details to some of the headlines you've listened to and many more. Let's start with the punch. ASU FG disagree over planned meeting. The Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU on Sunday said it did not receive any notice of meeting from the Ministry of Labor and Employment over its ongoing strike. The Minister of Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, during a meeting with the striking National Association of Academic Technologists on Friday, promised to meet with ASU this week. This week was also the last week of ASU's 2 month rollover strike. But the national president of ASU, Professor Emmanuel Shodike, told one of Punch correspondents yesterday that the union had yet to receive any notice of a meeting from the federal government's ministry. When asked what will be ASU's decision at the end of its 2 month rollover strike, which ends on Friday, Oshodike said, "My people will decide." He added, quote, "No meeting if we do not hear from them. Our National Executive Council will meet at the expiration of this week." While the spokesperson for the Ministry of Education, Ben Gong, faulted Oshodike's claim on the notice of the meeting. Though Gong did not give the Punch a specific date for the meeting, he noted that the government had continually reached out to the union. There is a lot more to this. The back and forth continues. If you're interested in this particular report, do well to pick up today's edition of the Punch. ASU FG disagree over planned strike a meeting, and that's
On the plaintiffs are contending, among others, that no provision of the Constitution empowers the EFCC to probe the Oyo State Assembly and its principal officers without a formal complaint from the State Auditor General. They said the EFCC, being an agency of the federal government, cannot look into and or cause to investigate the account of any authority, such as the first plaintiff, Oyo Assembly, and agency in Oyo State, in view of the specific provisions in sections 120, 121, 125, 126, and 127 of the Constitution. For more on this headline, coming to you from the Nation newspaper, you can pick up today's edition. Oyo Assembly queries EFCC's power to probe its finances.
Let's go now to the Guardian. Serap sues Buhari Malami over pardon for Yame Dariye 6 reversal. TMG cautions against using taxpayers' money for political campaigns. And now let's go through the details, shall we? Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP has sued President Muhammadu Buhari at a federal court in Lagos, seeking to declare illegal and incompatible with the oath of office and public interest the recent pardon granted former governors of Plateau State and Taraba State, Joshua Dariye and Jolin Yame, who currently are serving jail terms for corruption. Joined in the suit is Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami San. These duo were pardoned recently alongside 157 others convicted for various offenses. The two men were investigated, prosecuted, and convicted for stealing 1.16 billion naira and 1.6 billion naira from the state treasuries when they held office between 1999 and 2007. Serap is asking the court to determine whether the exercise of the power of prerogative of mercy to grant pardon to the pair is compatible with the public interest, the oath of office, and constitutional duty to combat corruption. There is a lot more to this report, and then you want to know more. And if that's the case, do check out today's edition of The Guardian. Serap sues Buhari Malami over pardon for Yami Dariye 6 reversal.
Still reading from today's edition of the Nation newspaper. Why Southeast produce next president, and this is according to Uzodinma. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma yesterday said the Southeast should produce President Muhammadu Buhari's successor. He said the election of a Southeasterner as president in next year's poll will foster unity, equity, fairness, and justice. Also cautioned that the presidential candidates for the 2023 election will not run on the platforms of ethnic associations, but on the platforms of political parties. Uzodinma told reporters in Lagos that it is desirable that the two main parties, All Progressives Congress (APC) and the People's Democratic Party (PDP), should pick their candidates from the Southeast, reminiscent of what happened in 1999 when the PDP and All People's Party (Alliance for Democracy) picked Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and Chief Olufalai from the Southeast. Uzodinma said Nigeria is practicing partisan democracy and not a national politics that is dominated by ethnic considerations when the choice of the candidates is a major issue. He maintained that the battle for tickets and the general election will be fought within and among political parties and not tribal organization. The governor further emphasized that what is important is that every political party is focused on winning election. This is the headline. Why Southeast should produce next president, and this is according to Uzodinma.
Emefiele heads for court as anger spreads over presidential ambition. That's on the punch. On their riders here, Ayaz Ozekome to seek constitutional interpretation amid rising criticism. Another rider, APC chair, confirmed CBN governor's membership, says he registered in February 2021. On the last rider, Emefiele's action could compromise bank's integrity, says ex-director and sons. Now, let's take you through the details. The Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele's alleged involvement in politics yesterday attracted more strong condemnations, with senior lawyers and other eminent Nigerians calling for his immediate resignation. Senior lawyers and top politicians who spoke separately to the Punch stated that Emefiele's continual stay as the CBN governor was dangerous to the economy. They said this as the chairman of Ward 6 in the Ika South local government of Delta State, Mr. Nduka Erikume, in a telephone chat with the Punch on Sunday, said the CBN governor had registered as an APC member. When he was asked whether Emefiele had registered in the APC, Erikume said yes, he had registered since February 2021. He is our member. Amid widespread condemnations of his alleged presidential ambition, the Punch newspaper on Sunday learned that the CBN governor had headed to a federal high court in Abuja to seek a constitutional interpretation on his non-resignation while pursuing his political interests. Sources said the CBN governor had reached out to a constitutional lawyer and human rights activist, Dr. Mike Ozekome-san, to seek interpretation of the Constitution and public service rules on public servants seeking elected positions while in office. It's a lot more to this story, a very long report. Do check out today's edition of The Punch. Emefiele heads for court as anger spreads over presidential ambition. That's the headline to that report.
From the Daily Post newspaper, Zamfara massacre. Bandits must not operate freely, and this is according to President Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari reacted to the latest mass killing by bandits in Zamfara state. Squads were murdered in Damri, Sabongari, Damri, Kala-A villages in Bakura local government area and in Maradun. The president on Sunday ordered that outlaws must not be allowed to operate freely. A statement by spokesman Garba Shehu, however, aids the military for their efforts. Buhari charged them to continue to achieve positive outcomes based on their current operational trajectory in the northeast. According to him, in quotes, we must not allow the return of days when the bandits had a free hand to do as they wished. The rural folk in Zamfara and elsewhere must be allowed to have peace. The momentum that has been developed must be sustained in order to bring closure to the activities of these murderers. The Nigerian leader expressed condolences to the families of the victims, the government, and the people of the state. This is coming to you from the Daily Post newspaper. Zamfara massacre. Bandits must not operate freely, and this is according to President Buhari.
Away from that now to the Punch newspaper. Wajabiamila will get chieftaincy title despite Alafin's death, says Oyomisi. The Oyomisi has said the installation of the Speaker of the House of Reps, Femi Gbajabiamila, as the Areba Shofin of Yoruba land, as announced by the late Alafin of Oyo, Obalamidi Adeyemi, was still old. The monarch had planned to confer the chieftaincy title on the Speaker on the 27th of May, but he died on the 22nd of April. Some hours after the monarch's death, an invitation to the installation surfaced online, but the Speaker had later, in a statement, said that the ceremony could no longer hold because the entire Yoruba race was mourning. However, the Yomise, which is led by the Basharan, the traditional Prime Minister of Oyo, Chief Olayinka Ayola, said on Sunday that the installation will go ahead. He said this when Gbajabiamila paid him a condolence visit to the palace. Gbajabiamila will get chieftaincy title despite Alafin's death, says Oyomisi. It's on the Punch.
On the Nation newspaper, Supreme Court verdict on 17 oil wells not final, says Imo government. The details there. It is too early for Rivers State to celebrate the Supreme Court verdict upholding its claim to the 17 oil wells in Akre and Bede communities. Imo State Governor Opozodima said yesterday. In a judgment on Friday, a 7-member panel unanimously held that the oil wells belong to Rivers. The Supreme Court further declared that all the oil wells within Akre and Mbede communities and those identified on the Rivers map are all within the territory of Rivers. It added that only Rivers was entitled to receive the full allocation of the distributable revenue derived from the oil wells based on the 13% derivation principle. But Uzodima said Rivers should not celebrate yet because the issue was still before the National Boundary Commission, NBC, for determination. According to him, some of the oil wells in contention were in Oguta, which is part of Imo. The governor said he had not yet seen a copy of the judgment and that the government will study it and apply for a review. Uzodima said, I know that some of the oil wells are in Oguta in Imo State. Does it mean that they are ceding Oguta to River State? We are waiting for the NBC to come out with their report on the matter. A long one there, coming to you from the Nation newspaper, and this is the headline. It is too early for Rivers government to celebrate. Supreme Court verdict on 17 oil wells.
On the Daily Trust newspaper, count me out of 2023 presidential race. INEC chair says, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said that he is not contesting the 2023 presidential election. Yakubu, in a statement yesterday by his chief press secretary, Rotimi Lawrence Oyekone, described a statement that called on him to join the race for the 2023 presidential election as unfair. The statement read, quote, our attention has been drawn to innuendos in certain quarters that Nigerians should not be surprised if the INEC chairman joins the presidential race, or urging him to do so. It is a preposterous proposition. It will not happen. The chairman remains an umpire committed to free, fair, and credible elections. His constitutional responsibilities as the chief electoral officer of the Federation and returning officer of the presidential election warrants enough for him to even contemplate straining interest matters at variance with the law, morality, and his personal principles. The chairman will continue to discharge his responsibilities without affection for or ill will against or ill will against any political party or candidate. This is on the Daily Trust and other national dailies. Company out of 2023 presidential race. INEC chair says.
Still talking politics from the Nation newspaper article. I have experience to tackle insecurity. And Rider there says ex-VP says opposition party may lose Osun governorship poll. The details there. Former Vice President Abubakar Atiku has appealed to the People's Democratic Party (PDP) delegates in Osun State to support his presidential ambition. He said in court, I have the right experience to tackle Nigeria's challenges of insecurity and disunity. When our administration, led by Olusegun Obasanjo, came into power, we had similar challenges and we were able to solve it. If I become the president, I will ensure restructuring of this nation. Well, you can pick up today's edition of the Nation newspaper, and this is the headline. Article, I have experience to tackle insecurity.
Away from that report, now still reading from the Daily Trust. I was chased, hunted, yet stood for Nigeria, says Saraki. Former Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki has urged delegates of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Kaduna State to rally behind an aspirant who is courageous enough to stand for Nigeria, and one who has shown that he will put the country's interest before his personal interest. Speaking in Kaduna yesterday, Saraki told delegates that he fits the bill as one who was chased and hunted by the present government. He has stood firm for the country. In his words, and quote, I have done that and I will always continue to put Nigerians first. As the Senate President, I stood for Nigeria. I was chased and hunted, but I said no. I'm going to stand for Nigeria. So I ask you if I can do that as Senate President with your support. Inshallah, I will do that as the President of Nigeria. End of quote. While making a commitment to bring insecurity to an end and unite Nigerians across ethnic and religious lines, Saraki said he appeals to the country's demographic and stressed that nobody knows better the difficult security situation in the country than the people of Kaduna. More to that report. You check today's edition of the Daily Trust for you to get more. I was chased, hunted, yet stood for Nigeria, says Saraki.
And now turning attention to today's edition of the Vanguard newspaper and still talking politics. 2023 Kano Guba. Crisis hits APC as Ganduje anoints deputy as successor. Ahead of the 2023 governorship race in Kano State, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje has anointed his deputy Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna as the successor, triggering opposition from some leaders of the All Progressives Congress in the state. Ganduje anointed Gawuna as the preferred choice of the APC for the 2023 governorship election at a stakeholders meeting held behind a closed door at the government house on Saturday, which lasted throughout the night till yesterday morning. It was also gathered that the meeting prevailed on the former Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Murtala Sulegaro, who was eyeing the governorship seat and favorite candidate of Ganduje's wife, to step down his governorship ambition and become Gawuna's running mate in the election. But the former Speaker, Kano State House of Assembly, and an APC governorship aspirant, Akabiru Al-Azan Rurum, in protest, dumped the party to further his governorship ambition. Rurum, member representing Rano, Kibia, Bankure Federal Constituency, and chairman House Committee on Pension, said he defected from the ruling party because he foresaw that the zone, Kano South, is about to be left out in the scheme of things and the fielding of candidates to contest for the governorship seat. A very, very long one there. 2023 Kano Guba. Crisis hits APC as Ganduje anoints deputy as successor.
Back to the Punch newspaper. Aggrieved civil servants fault nomination forms purchased for Zulu. Aggrieved civil servants in Borno State have expressed disapproval of the recent donations by some leaders of associations and professional bodies towards the purchase of expression of interest and nomination forms for the re-election bid of the Borno State Governor, Professor Babangana Zulum, for a second term in office. The aggrieved government workers disclosed that the actions of their leaders are a confirmation that their leadership have been compromised despite the harsh working conditions introduced by the Zulum administration. This was contained in a statement titled Vote of No Confidence in Borno State Governor and the Borno State Labour Leaders, and signed by concerned civil servants. Aggrieved civil servant fault nomination forms purchase for Zulum. It's on the Punch newspaper.
Still reading from today's edition of the Vanguard newspaper, but away from politics, now talking educational matters. School resumption, send your children ward to school or be penalized. NSUBEB chairman warns parents. The executive chairman, Nasarawa State Universal Basic Education Board, Honorable Mohammed Musa Dan Azimi, has warned parents in the state against holding back their children or risk severe penalty. The chairman said the warning became necessary in view of the high premium government and the board attached to the education of the children in its public schools across the state. According to him, parents and guardians must ensure the resumption of the children for the third term academic session in line with the state academic calendar. A stringent action would be taken against parents, the chairman declared. For more on this headline, school resumption, send your children ward to school or be penalized. NSUBEB chairman warns parents, and this is coming to you from the Vanguard newspaper.
Airline operators suspend planned operations shutdown. Airlines operators in the country on Sunday said they would not continue with the planned suspension of flight operations as earlier announced. The body clarified their decision following intervention by the government, with promises to dialogue with operators in seeking lasting solutions to the astronomical rise in the price of aviation fuel. The operator's position was contained in a statement jointly signed by its president, Abdelmunaf Yunusa Sarina, and other members. On the Punch newspaper, airline operators suspend planned operations shutdown. And that's it, of course, the headline to it. Now we'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Do not go away. We'll be right back shortly.
The beauty of being a business owner is getting your products and services known to the world as well as a great profit margin. Do you want what you do to go beyond the shores of Africa? Do you want your occasion and events to get to your targeted audience without stress? Do you want your voice heard like never before? Look no further. TNT Radio 102.5 is here for you. Put your wares, products, and services right in the waiting hands of your customers when you advertise with us. We use this medium to thank our old and new listeners. We are committed to giving you the best of information, entertainment, and education always and every day. Do stay with us as we take you global. Visit our commercial unit today for announcement and advert placement. TNT 102.5 FM along at Sheikhu Road, Ijabu, Kwara State, or telephone 0909 888 1025 or 0909 777 1025 or 0704 422 1025. TNT 102.5 FM radio. It's your business, our platform, and your profit.
There is a story from
As always. Yes, it's your business, our platform, and your profit. So we look forward to partnering with you. And in case you're just joining us, this is Radio TNT 102.5 FM. And we are situated along Gajasheko Road in Ijabu, Kwara State. And this is a program, The Mainstream, where we get to take you across Nigeria via the national dailies. And I will welcome you back from the break. And now, still serving you details to the headlines you have listened to earlier on the program. Federal government investors draw down 850 billion naira unclaimed dividends funds. The headline once again: Federal government investors draw down 850 billion naira unclaimed dividend fund. And this is coming to you from the Nation newspaper. The federal government has started using funds in the unclaimed dividend trust fund to finance its budget deficit. The initial estimate placed the size of the fund at 850 billion naira, but the size varies according to new deposits and withdrawals. A source at the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and the National Planning told the nation yesterday that contrary to certain official posturing, the federal government has started drawing from the unclaimed dividends to fund the budget deficit. The source said the government had withdrawn from the trust fund in 2021 to finance the year's budget deficit. The trust fund contains a backlog of unclaimed dividends and monies from dormant accounts, and this is being managed by the Debt Management Office and the Accountant General of the Federation. Director General DMO Ms. Patience Onia said the trust fund is still work in progress. A very long one coming to you from the Nation newspaper. Federal government investors draw down 850 billion naira unclaimed dividend funds from the Nation newspaper.
And going to all the national dailies this morning on 2023, Omuyadon declares for House of Assembly, promises appropriate representation. Youth leader and grassroots mobilizer, Comrade Omuyadon Ahmed Dimeji on Sunday declared his intention to contest for the Kwara State House of Assembly, representing Isasa Wigboden State constituency in the forthcoming 2023 general elections. While declaring his intention in the presence of thousands of youths in Kwara State, Omuyadon, popularly known as Yamo, said he was motivated by the lack of proper representation for the youths and the need to give appropriate representation, coupled with the massive support he got from the youths in his constituency, calling him to run for office. Yamos, who has served as a leader in different capacity, believes he is a vibrant youth that has contributed immensely to the development of Kwara State in general, and therefore deserves to serve as a representative in the Kwara Assembly. He said that the political representatives had in time past neglected the needs of the youth, adding that his candidacy will definitely push policies that would create an enabling environment for the youth to thrive with their God-given talents. Omuyadon said youth have been used as political thugs and thousands of teeming potentials have been destroyed, saying now is the time that youths have to take their place and effect the desired change. He however advised youths and everyone that cutlasses, guns, and other dangerous weapons cannot guarantee our desired tomorrow, but by coming out en masse to register and collect their permanent voter cards, and also not allowing politicians to buy them over with money. Yamos is from southeast ward of Ofa, a grassroots mobilizer with a wide understanding of the masses. Also awarded alongside with former prominent Kwara leaders as Otoge Ire by Kwara Youth Stakeholders Forum in 2019. The headline to that report: 2023, Omuyadon declares for House of Assembly, promises appropriate representation.
Still talking political matters from the Nation newspaper. Tinubu holds talks with delegates in Adamawa, Taraba, and the writer there says seeks support for presidential bid. The details there. All Progressives Congress stalwart Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was at the weekend met with delegates of the party in Adamawa and Taraba states as part of nationwide consultation of presidential aspiration. It was accompanied by former Borno State governors Kashim Shettima, the Sharia Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, Board Chairman, Al-Haji Kashim Ibrahim, Imam, former Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Chairman, Malam Nuhu Ribado, and House of Representatives member James Abiodun Faleke. Interacting with the delegates in Yola and Jalingo, the capitals of Adamawa and Taraba states, respectively, he urged Nigerians to embrace religious tolerance for lasting peace and stability, and promised to address the reward system if given the chance. This is coming to you from the Nation newspaper. Tinubu holds talks with delegates in Adamawa, Taraba.
And now on the Daily Trust on insecurity. We need more military platforms, arms, says Oshimbajo. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said a huge country with security challenges, Nigeria needs to ramp up the resources and use of technology, as well as get more military platforms and arms and ammunition. The Vice President said that all these were now in progress. Osinbajo, according to a statement yesterday by a spokesman, said at the presidential villa when he received a delegation from the Christ Apostolic Church led by its president, Pastor Samuel Oladele. Osinbajo recalled that the Tucano fighter jet with the federal government ordered, for which it fully paid over $469 million about 4 years ago, only got delivered last year. He also stated that the government was reconfiguring the country's security. Local ammunition manufacturing is on the cards, and a lot of work is going on. We pray we'll see some of the results soon. End of quote. He also said the country has potential if we can keep having honest leadership. There is a lot more to this. It is on one of the pages of the Daily Trust newspaper. On insecurity, we need more military platforms, arms, says Oshima.
Reading from the Guardian newspaper, Khan urges Buhari to seek help from other countries over insecurity. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has urged President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to seek help from other countries to overcome the security snag besetting the country. It also said that most of those jostling to be president in 2023 in the All Progressives Congress had no ideas of what they would do differently to move the country forward. Oyo State Chairman of CAN, Apostle Joshua Akinyemi, stated this during an exclusive interview with The Guardian in Ibadan at the weekend. Akinyemi, who decried the current insecurity in the country, said it looked like the federal government and security forces were overwhelmed. He said those campaigning to be president, especially on the platform of the APC, had not told Nigerians the new ideas they want to bring to the table, adding that they are all part of current administration. A long one there. For more, pick up today's edition of the Guardian newspaper. Khan urges Buhari to seek help from other countries over insecurity.
On the Nigerian Tribune, on 2023, TMG warns political officers against using state resources for political campaigns. I take that line again. TMG warns public officers against using state resources for political campaigns. The Transition Monitoring Group TNG on Sunday warned public office holders against the use of state resources for campaigns and other political party activities. In a statement yesterday, the TNG chairman, Awal Musa Rafsanjani, who doubles as the executive director of the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, noted that the use of taxpayers' funds and collective resources of Nigerians to fund personal political ambition is totally unacceptable. The group said, quote, "We are living witnesses of how ministers and other top public office holders use state apparatus such as government jets, public cars, as well as funds to run their personal ambitions, which wrongfully does not create a level playing ground and is a bad omen for our democracy." End of quote. Mr. Rafsanjani noted that a move by the 2023 aspirant political office holders, public officers, is shocking and alarming, saying that even with the enormous challenges facing the country at this moment, they still have the audacity to run for offices with scarce state resources. On 2023, TNG warns public officers using state resources for political campaigns. You can read more on the Nigerian Tribune.
APC slams 9 conditions on presidential aspirants and rider versus contenders barred from taking party to court. And this is on one of the pages of the Nation newspaper. The details there now. The All Progressives Congress, APC, has released 9 guidelines for the conduct of presidential governorship and parliamentary aspirants ahead of primaries. The contenders have been barred from going to court without first exhausting avenues for redress and ventilation of grievances. The aspirants are also expected to sign undertakings to accept the outcomes of the shadow polls and support whoever emerges as a candidate for the general election. The ruling party also directed them to take oath not to engage in thuggery, anti-party activities, factionalization, or the creation of parallel congresses and party organs at any level. These conditions are contained on page 17 of the nomination form given to the aspirants. But of the nine conditions, most of the aspirants, especially presidential heavyweights, are uncomfortable with a voluntary letter of withdrawal, which they are expected to sign before a commissioner for oath or a notary public. They allege that the withdrawal clause may lead to either imposition of a presidential candidate or abuse of the consensus clause. In the Electoral Act 2022, it was done that most presidential aspirants have been seeking legal advice on page 18 of the nomination form, which they considered a booby trap. A very long one there coming to you from the Nation newspaper, and this is the headline. APC slams nine conditions on presidential aspirants.
And now the Daily Post as this rush for 100 million naira APC nomination form, height of insensitivity to education and insecurity, says Ekiti Monarch. The Ogoga of Ikerekiti, Obadejimi Adu Alagbado, has said it is a height of insensitivity for the government to allow politicians spend billions of naira on the purchase of nomination forms when the country's economy is in a very bad shape. The visibly angry monarch said the extent to which political elites are obtaining the forms at exorbitant prices across party lines only suggests that they care less about the people's plight and the well-being of the country. Speaking at the Bamdele Olumilua University of Education, Science and Technology, Ikerekiti, Obadejimi Adu said such humongous amounts of monies could be used to fight insecurity and revamp the near collapse of the education sector in Nigeria. Obadejimi Adu, however, lamented that it was unbelievable that a class of Nigerians could be showcasing obscene wealth in a country where poverty is a common denominator among its citizens. Rush for 100 million naira APC nomination for height of insensitivity to education insecurity, says Ekete Monarch. It is on the Daily Post, I beg your pardon, newspaper.
From the Vanguard newspaper, most schools will reduce begging across a domain, and this is according to Sultan. Sultan of Sokoto and President General Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Al-Haji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, have appealed to wealthy individuals and groups to establish schools for orphans and the less privileged in the society. The spiritual leader made the appeal at UK Jarma Academy, Sokoto, for the orphans whose parents were killed by Boko Haram insurgents in Borno and Yobe states. Newsmen report that the school, which was initiated by a Sokoto-based philanthropist Al-Anji Umaru Kwabo, has 171 orphans and fewer privileges. For more on this headline, more schools will reduce begging across a domain, says Sultan. You can read up from the Vanguard newspaper.
Exactly 7:45 a.m. and now is the time for you to join the program. Thank you for being a part of it since it started. And as you know, we have rules of engagement as we welcome you to the second part of the program, the mainstream. When you call, always remember to turn down the volume on your radio set so that the reception can be good. And then remember not to make the comments very attacking. Do not attack any individual. Make a comment as civil as possible. And then when you call, do make sure it is within the space of 1 minute so we can give chance to everyone as much as possible to contribute on the program. And now those phone lines are officially open.
0701-384-1025 or 0905-897-3138. 0905-897-3138. As I say with there. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and your location.
This is Alhaji Adesina Rasheed from Oka.
Good to have you.
I come from the Ekiti Region for
And God bless you too. Many thanks for calling. Good morning. Hello, you're live on radio. You're welcome. You too. And many thanks for being a part of the program this morning. Yes, you're still picking calls. Saint FM, good morning. Yes, many thanks for being a part of the program. We're still picking calls 0701 3841025 or 0905 897 3138.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name, please? You're welcome, Pastor. God bless you too. Thank you for calling. Hello. Thank you for joining. What's your name? Good morning to you. You're welcome.
Hello, you have the floor.
You would have to call back. The network, I suppose, it's not giving us a good time there. Hello. Good morning. What's your name? You're live on there. You go ahead. Absolutely. Go ahead. Thank you for calling. Good morning. What's your name? You're live. What's your name? Welcome, Al Go ahead. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for calling. Hello. Good morning. Thank you for joining. What's your name? Good morning to you. Welcome, Corporate.
A lot of scandal hanging on his neck. You see, going freely in this topic.
Thank you to Comrade for calling. 0905 897 3138. You're live on the radio. What's your name? Good morning. What? Welcome, Mister.
Hello.
Oh, the network dropped the call.
Hello, good morning. Good-
Let's reset our minds.
You should. You
It's
should.
important. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for calling. I would do appreciate it. We can still pick at least two calls and then we'll call it again on the program. Thank you for joining TNTFM. What's your name? What's your name, please? Hello. You're live on radio. What's your name? Okay. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. Please, what's your
And thank you for being a part of the program. I think we can still sneak in one more call before we start talking about. Good morning, Saint FM. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Hello.
Thank you for your contribution. And with that call, we'll draw the curtain on the program. Thank you for being a part of it. You made it lovely. Well, we'll come back tomorrow. We'll still keep talking about Nigeria, live on the program here and live on the radio. And of course, you know that as we keep talking, we hope to see actions. And that's what Nigerians expect to see. Actions and then results. And so we can have the dividends of our democracy. From all of us at 10 from 102.5, it's on this note that I would say good morning to you and have a lovely Monday. I'm Nelson Olawi.
And I'm Oluwaseun Fadira. And once again, I say very good morning to you and many thanks for always being there. Bye for now.
What are you looking for? Information and updates? Sports at its best? News